Hey guys, Dane from Scoggin Dickey Parts Center, and I am in a Copo with the helmet on. That's pretty cool, except for I'm not at a drag strip. You can probably see around me that we're actually inside the dealership right now. But I wanted to talk a little bit about safety, just kind of joking aside and everything. But this is something that's really important because of the fact that a lot of you guys, when you're building your cars, safety really tends to kind of get put by the wayside. You know, we all joke about safety third, but this time around, something that has been kind of a changing in some of the rules, the NHRA has made it to where, you know, for you guys that are still using the donut, you know, you got your foam neck pad. If you are actually running a fast car, something that's 150 mile an hour or faster in the quarter, or a 749 or quicker ET, you absolutely cannot be running the foam neck pad. You are going to have to move to a Hans device. This is Hans stands for head and neck restraint. You know, you've got all of these. There are so many different varieties to it. This is one by Next Gen, which is a nice compact setup. It has foam padding, and it's got the hard part for the collar, which is a nice restraint. And this is a quick release, so you're not having to fumble with ties or anything else like that when you're trying to take this off. I don't have this set up on my helmet, but also anything that is newer on SFI rating or also with FIA certification, they already come, these helmets will be pre-drilled and pre-tapped for a Hans device. It's super duper important that you guys plan ahead. If you've got a quick car and you're going to be running at the track, especially anybody that's NHRA or, you know, at least following the NHRA ruling, or, you know, just paying attention to the rules at some of these other events that we go to, whether it be NMCA, you know, you've got your street car takeover events or anything, Texas 2K, any big event. A lot of times they're going to be following a lot of the same ruling just because of insurance purposes. Now, the other thing you got to pay attention to also is how you want to run these devices. You know, this Hans device is just the traditional Hans setup. There's also one that is called the hybrid, and so it's a little bit different, but it allows you, instead of running based on the seat belts, it actually attaches to your torso, and it's got straps and belts and everything else like that. It doesn't have as much as the cool guy appeal, but it allows for a little bit more mobility, because on these you have to pay attention to the width on the shoulders, because there are limits on the straps that you can use, whether it be 3-inch or 2.5 inch. So you want to make sure that you have the right width shoulders for the harnesses that you're running in the car. You don't want your harnesses bunched up over your shoulders. So the hybrid systems allow a little bit more universal work for if you're in different cars throughout multiple sessions for a weekend, or if you are, you know, one of those cool guys that has like a whole bunch of different race cars. That's something that allows you to do that. Same thing for you guys that are doing, you know, say the 24 hours of Lemons or any other endurance racing. You know, we've got all sorts of other endurance races that are popping up that are gaining popularity. Having a hybrid system allows you to get in and out of the car easier instead of having to fight with the straps and everything. So that's something I really wanted to talk about, was just the importance of how our safety is right now, because, you know, like I joked about, you know, safety third. A lot of times, you know, you guys might be considering also that, hey, I don't really need that, I'm not that fast, but accidents do happen. And sometimes, like, it might be one of those where it's like you don't really think it's going to be a bad accident, and then it ends up being something nasty. So these Hans devices are something to help protect against basilar skull fractures. And if you guys aren't, you know, don't know what that is, just remember that's how we lost Dale Earnhardt. He didn't have a Hans device, and he was wearing a seatbelt super loose, and it looked like a relatively tame accident compared to all the others that we've seen in the past. And yet that is what got him, was a basilar skull fracture. And these Hans devices, even though They started off being really unpopular and uncomfortable for a lot of people. After enough use and enough of you just making it part of your routine of getting ready, you'll forget about it until the point, say if unfortunately you have an accident, that thing is going to save you in a lot of ways. Same thing with proper other portions of safety, whether it be your containment seats or anything else along those lines. Safety is super important, and a lot of times we don't give it enough of a priority, especially when planning out our build. That's going to be something else that you need to consider. And if you have questions about that, talk to people that have built chassis that are known for being extraordinarily safe. Pay attention to what works. That's going to be the other big thing. That's really the thick and thin of it. So if you guys don't want to use this, the nice thing is also you don't have this thing stuck up around your neck. When we did Big Bend Open Road Race, I had this on, and as the navigator, I hated it the whole time because it was like all up against my throat the entire time that we were doing the race. So this allows a little bit of freedom. Yes, it's going to restrict a little bit as far as, how you can look left or right. There's also other things to consider because the angle of your seat, it goes from, there's 3 different phases. There's 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and then all the way back to, I believe, like 30 degrees for some of our larger drivers. So it's something really important to consider. If you have any questions about where to source these Hans devices, feel free to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a message. We have access to all these, especially if you're looking at sourcing it locally. But really the important thing is you guys are safe. No venue wants to have, a dark cloud over their head as far as like, oh, well, somebody had an accident there and they passed away because of something that they didn't consider as far as like safety. So it's super important because you guys have got friends, family, loved ones that are all waiting for you to get home or cheering for you at the track. It's super important, and this is something that we don't normally carry on the shelves because our safety stuff is all time related because all that stuff loses certification. So also make sure if you have these, keep up on the certification for them, so that way when you go to the track and you forget that you needed to get it recertified, the guy that's doing the tech inspection goes, hey, these are out of cert. It's something that's super important to pay attention to and be mindful of. Same thing with the harnesses. They're time related, you have that certification. So you buy it at the very beginning of the build. Some of your builds might take a little while, especially I know with mine. It's something important as well to pay attention to. So once again, that's pretty much it that I've got. I'll get off my soapbox as far as safety, but thanks for coming by for another tech video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave us some comments, let us know what you've got. We'd love to have some feedback on what Hans devices you have and what you like and what has been the most comfortable or easiest to use. It's something that allows you to help other racers out as well, because really in the end we're out here to help you guys out to be able to find the parts that you need, as well as the safety components or anything else to finish your build, to have fun and enjoy driving. So once again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time for another tech video. Oh, you guys are still here. So while you're still here, there's something I wanted to talk about, is the size of your noggin. So as you can see, I'm in a Camaro, and there's a lot of discussion about the size of the windows in Camaros because, people joke about it. It's like you're in a cave, you can't see out of it. Well, the other thing to think about this is ingress and egress for safety. Practice your egress whenever, practice your egress so that in the event that you have to get out of the car really fast, you're not fumbling around. It becomes just a normal routine. It's muscle memory. So that way, say something pops, you have a fire, or you get rolled over or anything else like that, you can get out of the car quickly and safely. That way you're not testing the limits of, say, your fire suit. It's super important to be able to pay attention to that and plan ahead accordingly, as well as look at how all of that works. So the other thing to think about is this window is very, very small. Very small. So really, if you look at this, I have my helmet up against the windowsill. I'm not going to be able to get out of this window with my helmet on. So if you haven't practiced and you're trying to get out of this car with your helmet on, you're not going to be able to get out. The Camaro is not the only one that's like this. People have tested it with other makes and models, especially some of the newer ones, because of regulations for your belt line for side impact. So say there's also the Supra, probably even on the newer Mustangs. I haven't been able to test my helmet with the Mustang, but there are other cars that are out there that are very, very tight. My 4th Gen F body, I can stick my head through there and I can climb out like I'm a part of the Dukes of Hazzard without any issue. I'm not going to climb out of this one right now because it's not my car and I don't want to ruin the finish. But it's something that you guys need to be able to pay attention to and plan ahead accordingly. So once again, another little bit about safety, but pay attention to what you're doing, plan ahead, and make sure that you've got a plan. Say if you can't get out on this side, plan on getting out on the other side as well. Practice those things so that in the event that it happens, you'll be able to get out and be safe and be able to race another day. Thanks again. See you guys next time.